Hi everybody, welcome to the Guindy Times University Admit series. I'm Sahana Dinesh and I'm a third year computer science student at CEG and I'm a member of the Guindy Times, the official campus magazine of CEG, ACT and SAP. Today we have Sangamitra with us. She graduated with an MSc integrated in information technology in 2021 from CEG, and she's currently pursuing a master's in computer science at the University of Texas at Austin. Hey Sangamitra, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the course that you're pursuing?
Hi, sure. So I graduated in 2021 after doing a 5-year course in IT at the maths department. And now I'm pursuing a computer science course in Austin, so with focus in research in systems.
Okay, thank you. So why did you decide to pursue a master's degree in the US after doing a integrated master's degree in India?
So the course I did back in Anna was more coursework heavy, and I wanted to get into research a little bit more. And the degree here, like the MS here, has an option to do a thesis, and you can also pursue like a research assistantship where you can explore your research interests and then get into publishing papers or working on products, whatever it is that you want to do. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So what drove you to do this course?
MS in CS?
Yes, at UT Austin.
Or at UT Austin. Okay. So I was working with a professor here a year prior to applying, and I got really interested in the domain that he was working on. So I come from like a theory ML background, and he was working in systems. So I was using both of this. Like target was systems, but it was more of applying techniques and methods and algorithms and ML for solving systems problems.
Oh, okay.
So I really liked that working in that interdisciplinary domain. So I wanted to continue doing that by doing an MS here.
Okay, that's interesting. So how did you shortlist colleges that you were applying to and the courses that colleges offered?
To be honest, mine was a little like unique case because I didn't apply to other colleges. It was just UT Austin. Like I knew prior to coming that like if I wanted to do an MS, it would be here. And like the professor I was working with also encouraged me to apply. So like I had a different plan if like this didn't work out. So it was always UT.
Oh, so UT was the only college that you applied to?
That I applied to, yeah. But before like I started working with him, I had a few colleges in mind, but that I just went through, ranking websites where you could see like what the good colleges were, and then you go to the website of the colleges itself and look at like the research the professors were doing, or what the different labs were working on, and whatever like seemed interesting to me, like that made it to my shortlist.
Okay, so what requirements did UT Austin have for the course that you applied to?
So there's no fixed requirements per se. It's very like holistic in the way they evaluate each application. Typically, like you would think that you need to be a 9-pointer and you'd need to have like 2 published papers and you'd need like stellar recommendations, and that will definitely like get you a seat at the table. But you can also have a different balance of things in your application. For example, if your CGPA is around 8, but you have done like a lot of projects and you've gone to a lot of internships and you have experience in that area, that will compensate for that and tell them that you're still academically inclined even though you don't have like a typically good CGPA, I guess.
Okay, so they look at like all-round development and stuff.
Yeah, definitely, all of them.
Okay, that's very interesting.
And your SOP and your LORs also, like they need to be honest and also talk about why you want to study there and what it is you're hoping to achieve and why their university in particular is a good fit for you. So it can't be very generic. So you should tailor it like depending on the university you're applying to, and your LOR should also be specific to you. Like they usually frown upon very generic, vague worded recommendations and SOPs.
Okay. And did you write any entrance exams? And if you did, what resource did you use to prepare for these?
So for the cycle that I applied, because that's when like COVID had hit, they waived out GRE, but we still had to submit TOEFL. So I took TOEFL, and for that, generally, if you been to an English medium school, you should be like okay, they would have covered the basics. But if you're not like comfortable speaking fluently or writing, I would recommend going through the practice books that they have, and there are plenty of like YouTube resources or like online resources. Even you could even use GRE preparation material for this, like that would absolutely work.
Okay, so you didn't have
but in
GRE. So
sorry,
your batch, you didn't have to submit the GRE. It was just the TOEFL thing.
Yeah, we didn't need to. You could take it if you wanted, but it wasn't necessary, no. But if you're going to do GRE, then the preparation for that, like especially for English, it's not on the same level as TOEFL. TOEFL you can still get by; it's not too hard. But GRE you would need like a significant amount of prep, just like for the timing aspect.
Okay. When did you start this application process?
I think around October I started working on my SOP and LORs and everything, and November end was when I submitted. Yeah.
Okay. How did you build your portfolio for UT Austin? What do you think set you apart as a prospective student at the college?
I think it would have helped, like the fact that I was clear about what kind of research I wanted to work on. I was very clear about that, and I was also clear about where I wanted to apply it. So my end goal was to work in sustainability, to reduce carbon emissions in data centers, and focus more on power efficient computing. And that I wanted to do that using like the stuff I learned in college, plus like the areas I'd be focusing on in my MS. So I'd highlighted that and told them that I need to continue working in the lab with the professor to learn more, so that I could, one day be equipped enough to apply all of that in sustainability. And it definitely helped that I had an LOR from the professor I was working with, because if you can get your hands on a project with a professor and then apply to the same university, you have like a much better chance of getting in, because admissions committees respect LORs from professors from their same like university. So it'll definitely like give you an edge over the rest of the pool.
And how did you go about getting these LORs from professors at our college? Did you do a research internship under them?
Yeah, so the professor from my college was like my HOD at my department, and I had worked on a project with him briefly, and I kept in touch with him through my like 5 years, like for guidance and everything. So he was willing to give me an LOR. Yeah.
So do you think a corporate or a research internship helps build an applicant's profile, or which one do you think is more suited for a master's degree?
I think any internship will definitely be like a huge plus on your CV when you're submitting it. It depends on what you're more interested in. Like I don't expect like even at a point I wasn't really very clear on what area I wanted to work on, or what if I wanted to go into research or into industry, or a mix of both. So if like you've still not made up your mind about that, it would be better to just go to well reputed, I'd say, internships, like anywhere where they're willing to give you an LOR and they can talk about the kind of work you've done, and you can talk about it in detail and talk about how you've contributed to that particular project, or what sort of made you want to do it in the first place. So they basically want to know like how, what, when, why, everything. So if you can talk about that and the work you've done is pretty solid, then yeah. But it wouldn't be a good idea if you already have a clear idea of what you want to work on, and then you work in a domain that's completely different. So that's not going to add value to where you want to go.
Okay. And how has your course been going so far? And how different is student life in India and in the US now?
It's been going really well. I like the way that they take classes here. So the format here is kind of different from what we followed back in India. Like you'd have a in India, like we'd have a schedule and you'd come to college at like 8:30 or 9 and then sit through classes the whole day. Like we'd have like what, 8 subjects, 6 theory plus 2 labs and everything. And you'd leave in the evening. But here it's more of you pick what subjects you want to do. Like I know for engineering, you probably had that option, but here it's a lot more diverse. So you can take about 3 courses or 4 courses per semester. It's not as like the number of courses isn't as much, but it's definitely like a fair amount of workload. But it's not just exams and like test writing. They have, projects, paper presentations, like a whole bunch of things where they just distribute like how they grade.
So it's a very flexible course.
Yeah, it's quite flexible. You can tailor it, depending on what your strengths are, and like what time you want classes, and like whatever suits your work ethic, basically. Yeah.
Okay. And have you taken up like any teaching roles at your university?
So they have teaching assistantships and research assistantships. So I'm doing a research assistantship. So we do, like in these, you don't really teach. You more you assist in the lab and work on projects that the lab is already like working on, and you help with writing papers and doing like different modules in the project depending on what your professor assigns to you, and like helping out your lab mates and everything. Yeah.
Okay. And finally, where do you see yourself after this degree? What do you want to do after your master's degree?
So there's 2 things I was thinking of. One is continuing into a PhD, and the other one is going into the industry for a research position. Right now, I haven't really decided fully, but I should be by the end of the year. If I'm going into the industry, I definitely want it to be in the area I talked about before, with applications in sustainability. And if I'm going into a PhD, then yeah, that'll be another like 5 years, 4 to 5 years. Okay. And specialization will decide like as we go.
Okay, so you're like oriented towards like research. Either.
Yeah.
Okay. What tips do you have for students aspiring to pursue a master's degree in the US?
I would say, depending on what your goals are, it's okay to not have decided what exactly you want to work on either, as long as you highlight what you've been doing so far and what you would like to explore eventually. Like masters is all about figuring out where you want your area of expertise to be, and there's a lot of opportunities to figure that out and like take your time. So you can definitely talk about that in your SOP. But if you already have an idea of what you want to work on, then I would suggest highlighting what you've done to get there so far, and how you would use the university's resources and their courses and the work they do at their labs to help you get there. So it's all about really just tailoring your application towards a particular university, more specifically like the department or a particular lab.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So do you have anything to say about GT's Admit series that you're a part of? Do you have any feedback to give us?
Not really. I just say it's a great initiative, because I think students, a lot of them, like you get discouraged if you have like a low CGPA or if you have a history of barriers, and you think, okay, what's the point? I shouldn't even apply. Like I may not get in. But that's absolutely not the case. Like no matter what your background is, you can still like work to make your application better, and you can still get into like really top schools. So it's not, you don't have to feel like inferior to the 10 pointers, because each course is different, each testing is different, grades are different. So there's no way to like compare one with the other. So as long as you've been working on your area of interest, or at least trying to figure out what that is, you'll be like good to go. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors on behalf of GT. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to interview with us.
Thank you for having me. It was good to chat.
Yeah, same here.